Good morning, everyone. My name is Vengan Anadan. I'm the head of financial management at BuilderTrend. This, as Patrick mentioned, is not about BuilderTrend, but rather a vision for the entire industry based on technology. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about efficiency, experience, and profit, a vision for platform technology in major remodeling. So November 30th, 2022. This will be remembered as a very pivotal day in history because this was the day that ChatGPT was launched to the world by the OpenAI platform. The last thing that I used ChatGPT for was to write me this speech. Just half kidding, but seriously, it is powerful. If you haven't tried it already, you should. It is surprising how much depth it can go the more inputs that you put into it. What ChatGPT really shows us is that artificial intelligence is now here for the big time. It is a breakthrough moment for the technology and is now an inflection point such that crazy futuristic use cases can start being a reality sooner than we expected. So the future is coming faster than we think. What does this mean for home remodeling? And what does this mean for you in 2023? These are some of the things that I'm going to unpack today. First, I'm going to paint a picture of the future state of remodeling management. We're going to talk about the day in the life of a future state remodeling business owner who has fully adopted AI into their business. And then I'm going to talk about sort of a few building blocks that are relevant today in 2023 that will make this future state picture a reality. So to start, just to give you a little bit of background on myself, as you can tell from looking at me, I'm from Michigan. I went to University of Michigan, so go blue for any Wolverines out there. I usually tell people that so that people hate me right off the bat. People are not fans. So in terms of my role, I am the head of financial management at BuilderTrend. We are the leading construction management software for residential general contractors. In terms of my role, I'm responsible for the product and business strategy of the financial aspects of the business. So think invoicing, payables, budget, accounting integrations, things like that. Now, I don't have a background in construction. Admittedly, if I have to build an IKEA stool, I have to call my girlfriend. Over the past year and a half at BuilderTrend, I've been able to really deeply understand the needs of residential contractors, mostly based on talking to customers like yourselves and the sort of organizational tribal knowledge that BuilderTrend has gained since 2006 when it was founded. I spent my career in digital product management. For those of you guys who don't know, the product managers are the folks at technology companies that are responsible for making all the decisions on what to build, the product roadmap, based on their sort of intersection between the customers and what they need, the business, and the actual engineers, and the sort of platform architecture. So if you're upset with how the product works, the product teams are the people you have to yell at. But I spent my career in product management at several places, including American Express and Anheuser-Busch InBev, where I built products for small and medium businesses mostly. So without further ado, I want to start painting the future state of remodeling management. So meet Bob. Bob is a remodeling business owner of the future who has fully adopted technology and artificial intelligence. He provides the best experience to his clients while fully maximizing the efficiency and profits in his business. Now, this is 15 years in the future, not 50. If it was 50, we would probably all going to be like slaves to Skynet or something. I know this is a tech-forward conference, so it is an awesome picture though. Bob is really, really maximizing his business. He's making all of the right decisions based on a deep understanding of the remodeling industry, his local market, and his own business itself and his history across all of its aspects. He's making these decisions through his trusty AI virtual assistant called Urkel. He still has full control All he has to do is review the decisions that Urkel makes, but ultimately, he doesn't have to do any work. In terms of Bob's life, he spends all day sitting at the beach. He works roughly 1 to 3 hours a week reviewing the decisions that Urkel has made across his business, and he is only as involved as he wants to be. How does Bob provide the best experience to his customers? So it really starts with smart go-to-market enablement. Essentially, what this means is the moment that a homeowner couple in Bob's market decides that they want to get their bath redone, at that moment exactly, they will be served up the value proposition via marketing and sales of Bob's business and how Bob's business can help them achieve their dreams. Now, does this sound a little creepy? It's because it is. But ultimately, it's amazing for Bob's business. Everyone in his market, as soon as they are ready for a project, they will be served up and they will get the most projects that he can. His entire sales process will be fully virtual and automated based on content that his marketing team has created. Furthermore, the entire sort of homeowner experience, from the initial proposal consultation process all the way to the sort of ongoing job monitoring, will be fully enabled by virtual reality, such that the homeowners, from the comfort of their own home, can follow along the entire process. They can see exactly what they're going to get and follow along as it's happening in real time, again, without leaving their couch. Sounds awesome, right? In addition, he is maximizing the efficiency in his business. So in terms of the construction process itself, so across the job site, all physical items from materials to equipment will all have sensors with data coming in. So essentially, you have real-time insights across the entire job site. The act of building itself is made much more efficient via building information management combined with virtual reality, such that every single construction worker who goes on the job site knows exactly what to do. In addition, the project management is going to be optimized. For each project, the schedule is automatically set, predicted. Estimates are made with 100% accuracy. And even some of the physical building itself will be automated. Materials and even some full components will be built by 3D printers so that it saves time and makes the process far more efficient. So ultimately, this is better for Bob's business. He's maximizing efficiency. Urkel is helping him the whole way through. Lastly, my personal favorite, because I'm from financial management, is on maximizing profits. Bob is fully maximizing profits in his business. So it starts with automated, perfect job costing that is fully automated, 100% accurate. But beyond just accuracy of information, Bob is actually maximizing the amount of profit that he is getting. This is through things like smart bids for subs and vendors, optimal decisions, throughout the budgeting process, throughout the job, and even setting the markups and the pricing based on a true understanding of the homeowner willingness to pay to really maximize the profit that he can get for every single job that he runs. Beyond that, his cash flow is going to be fully automated. So he'll set smart invoicing schedules, from the get-go based on when he needs the cash for the project. The payable schedules, payment terms for subs, vendors will be optimized. And the actual movement of money itself, so when the money comes in to money going out, will be fully automated with an optimal cash flow. Furthermore, taxes, the constant even in the future will be death and taxes. Taxes will be fully automated, calculated by Urkel as it comes, and filed without him having to lift a finger and getting Bob a maximum refund every time. And lastly, in terms of financial services, he'll have the lowest cost automated financial services to optimize his business. So think a line of credit that sort of has the lowest possible cost than any bank, that is drawn upon as soon as Bob needs it to smooth out cash flow or to invest in his business, and then paid back automatically based on when he has the money to do so, such that he incurs the least amount of interest expense possible, right? So Joe's finances are fully optimized based on leveraging Urkel, leveraging AI across his business. Today, in 2023, what are the building blocks that are towards this future state that are relevant today, and how can you take advantage of them? So these building blocks are obviously artificial intelligence as a technology, as it advances, digital platform ecosystems, and then technology adoption trends more generally. As I start walking through these, it'll make a little bit more sense. But to start, artificial intelligence. As I mentioned before, it is having its breakthrough moment. It is getting to a point where crazy futuristic use cases that we could only have dreamt possible are becoming reality. In the context of business software, AI will be embedded in all cloud-based software applications. The product teams that I mentioned earlier are going to be prioritizing either building AI capabilities or integrating AI capabilities that are built from different vendors. What it'll ultimately allow business software providers to do is accelerate sort of its core promise of increasing efficiency and time savings for a business, but it allows it to go a step further and actually help make optimal decisions on behalf of business owners across the business. This step function change is the real power behind AI, which is what is going to enable that future state picture I mentioned earlier. AI will also be embedded in sort of the physical world. It'll be, as I said, through Internet of Things attached to materials, equipment, things like that. This is going to be very, very important for the physical industry of construction and remodeling. However, it's important to understand how AI actually works and the reality that AI is as powerful only as the data behind it. So outputs from advanced AI systems, whether it's for automation or for smart decision making, is really based on the data sets that it's trained with, as well as the inputs that are provided. So let me give you an example. I asked ChatGPT, how do I make my home look better? You know what it said? It said, you should tear it down and build it again. Which obviously, is technically right, but kind of misses the point. If you go a little bit further and ask it, I need home improvement ideas that fit my modern sensibilities, that are based on my budget of $30,000 or whatever, it will give you a much more detailed response, right? It's as strong as the inputs matter. Furthermore, it's based on intelligence and understanding a deep history of things. So, for example, if you have your anniversary coming up, you have to get your spouse a gift. To solve this problem, would you ask a random baby that doesn't know anything about anything? They'll probably tell you to buy a lollipop or something, which is probably a recipe for divorce. Ultimately, a baby doesn't know anything. This decision should be based on a deep understanding of your spouse, the relationship that you have with them, and maybe combined with an expert who has really, really understood, seen many, many gifts for anniversaries, like a Martha Stewart, for example, so that you can really optimize and make the right decision. So ultimately, going back to the context of business software. In business software, an AI assistant like Urkel can really be effective to solve problems for the businesses that it serves by having a deep understanding of the business itself and its history, as well as the overall industry in which that business operates. So in this case, remodeling. And so to sort of illustrate that, I want to talk about two trends that will help an AI assistant get to that point. So first, I want to talk about digital platform ecosystems. This is what's going to enable an AI to understand a business. But to sort of explain, I want to take a step back, take you guys back to history class, and talk about the theory of specialization. This is a theory that sort of, to summarize what it means, it is that economies will be better off if individuals, businesses, and governments specialize in what they're best at and then collaborate with one another. Ultimately, this was one of the foundations of human civilization. Early humans, they realized that they don't have to do everything. Each individual can specialize in farming or hunting or fishing. And with that, when they collaborate, that is literally the foundation of civilization. More recently, the economic system in which our great country is built, capitalism, is founded by specialization, popularized by Adam Smith in his book, Wealth of Nations. I'm sure it's your favorite book. You guys have all read it. I certainly haven't, but it's the foundation of capitalism. So to put this into context of modern technology, this is when you get to the concept of digital platform ecosystems. So to explain digital platform ecosystems, at the end, digital platform ecosystems are a connected set of applications that provide different customer jobs to be done that are fully connected and orchestrated by a single platform provider, or an orchestrator as we call them. With connected ecosystems, these group of providers, they can provide a more holistic customer experience. And because of this theory of specialization, each individual provider can really maximize and specialize in their particular area. And then connected as a sum, the whole is better than the sum of its parts. And ultimately, who benefits? You, the customer. And so many tech companies have begun to realize this, and digital platform ecosystems are proliferating all throughout the technology industry. But it's important to note that for these to work, they have to be enabled by a sort of an easy translation of data. So there has to be a common data framework across all of the applications in the ecosystem in order to actually make it function as such. So this doesn't necessarily mean that there's a single database that has all of the data across the ecosystem. Rather, all the databases can talk to one another. And going back to the AI example, an AI assistant like Urkel can really, because of this connection, truly build that intelligence across a business. And so for a business, they can really build a full connected picture of themselves in the cloud, leveraging these ecosystems. So every single aspect of their business in a connected way, such that the AI can really gain that intelligence and hit the ground running for you. As an example of an ecosystem that some of you guys are probably familiar with, Intuit, QuickBooks Online, many of you guys probably use it. QuickBooks Online is a software at its core. It's an accounting software. You use it to help you keep your records, close your books, file taxes. But through the QuickBooks Online application ecosystem, the App Store, now it enables you as a small business to digitize many more aspects of your business. For example, cash flow automation with Bill.com. You can do expense management with Expensify. Ultimately, it enables you to digitize more aspects of your business. And all of these apps are integrated very closely, synced very well, and enables that common data framework so that someone can really understand your business across. Now, one quick thing to note, it is possible for platform ecosystem overlap. So for example, Intuit, QuickBooks, and HubSpot are integrated. HubSpot is a CRM that is part of the QuickBooks App Store ecosystem, but HubSpot also is orchestrating its own ecosystem, connecting with other accounting systems like Xero, for example. So it is possible for there to be overlap. Lastly, on the ecosystems, the tech that sort of makes it all possible is APIs, application programming interfaces. To sort of put it very simply, it is a way for applications to connect and talk to one another, kind of like when toddlers are speaking in like a secret code that allows them to understand each other. There's a couple types of APIs. You have open APIs, which are APIs that the orchestrator builds that anyone can build off of and connect to that software. You have partner APIs, which are APIs that are essentially provisioned only to strategic partners of whoever has built them. This is usually done to control the customer experience by the orchestrator and also enable sort of a better servicing experience and more control. And then you have private APIs, which are only accessible within the walls of an organization, usually used to connect all the different systems they have, whether it's CRM, ERP, things like that. Ultimately, putting this all together, the digital platform ecosystems really allow an AI assistant to build a deep understanding of an individual business across all of its aspects through this connected form. However, how can the AI assistant learn the entire industry? This requires a sort of a critical mass of adopters. And so with that, I want to talk about technology adoption trends in the remodeling space, but also in small business software overall. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with this, this is what we call the technology adoption curve. It was popularized by Jeffrey Moore in his book, Crossing the Chasm, another book that I haven't read and you guys probably haven't either, but this is a very popular framework. And just to orient you guys, on the left side, you have sort of the tech enthusiasts and the visionaries. These are the folks that have really adopted technology. They're willing to adopt technology before it's like sort of fully ready and fully baked, if you will. And then you sort of cross the chasm into what you call the early majority. And the early majority is really where it becomes mainstream. These are the folks that are willing to adopt technology, but only once it's mainstream, sort of fully baked. And then you go to the right to what you call the laggards, the conservatives, the skeptics. These are the sort of the crazies that basically need it to be stupidly intuitive or unavoidable to do so. Now, I mean that in a kind of a light way, but most of construction has typically been in this area. However, what we're seeing today, in 2023, we are seeing that we are now in the early majority period. This is really driven by trends in the past couple of years. From the pandemic has accelerated digital adoption quite a bit. So we do see ourselves in remodeling in this sort of early majority phase in terms of where people are, in terms of technology adoption. However, I also want to posit that in the next 5 years, given this explosion of technology that's coming, driven by AI and ChatGPT, we are going to be going quickly down the rest of it. And even the conservatives and the skeptics are going to be adopting technology very fast, because it's going to become unavoidable to do so in order to even stay alive. And so this is what we expect, that there's going to be a significant explosion and you're going to see a lot more. And so what does that mean for you guys? It means that more and more and more of your peers in remodeling are going to be adopting technology at a much faster pace. Another sort of general trend that we're seeing is the explosion in what we call the services economy. A lot of business software companies are really investing top dollar in providing professional services so that they can essentially help accelerate this adoption curve. Companies like Salesforce, which is actually spending more money this year on its professional services than on its software itself, or Intuit, like QuickBooks, as I mentioned earlier, which is one of its top 3 bets as a company, is to accelerate its QuickBooks Live service, which is essentially a professional services to help with QuickBooks adoption. So professional services is becoming a bigger thing, and ultimately it helps even the most digitally challenged businesses adopt software faster. And we're seeing a huge explosion in this, and thus it's showing that it's only inevitable where more and more folks are going to get on. Lastly, I want to share sort of a personal example from my own career at Anheuser-Busch InBev. AB InBev, largest beer company in the world. We built a digital ordering app so that small and medium businesses around the world, particularly in emerging markets, so think small corner shops, bars in countries like Mexico, Brazil, Latin America. We created an app for them to be able to order beer for their stores from us as a supplier. And once we created this, it was called Bees. We took this and we actually sort of made every single business adopt it. And what we ended up finding was, despite the fact, and these are the skeptics and the conservatives, these are as far right as it gets on the adoption curve. What we found was, with this initial push, there was some initial pushback as expected, but what ended up happening was every single one of them started adopting. And after that initial sort of push, these businesses, the NPS, the Net Promoter Scores, was through the chain, off the roof. They were loving it. To date, Bees has over 3 million monthly active unique businesses, mostly in these emerging markets, who were literally using cash for everything before, writing all their accounting on a notebook, doing everything through phone or paper, are now fully adopting software. And over 80% of them were actually, this was the first step in a larger digital adoption journey. They didn't just stop there, they actually used this to now start automating other things like finances and things like that. So it shows that even the most skeptics, even the most laggards in technology will get there. With these technology adoption trends in general, what we expect is that way more small businesses are going to adopt technology. This is going to provide that critical mass of adopters in which an AI can really understand not just entire industries, but also how businesses should operate. So now to tie it back together, going back to Bob, our remodeler of the future, who's dominated his market leveraging AI. He has used his trusty AI, Urkel, to gain this edge, and Urkel has gained the ability to serve Bob and maximize his business through a complete historical picture of his business across all aspects, driven by his adoption of a digital platform ecosystem, combined with Urkel's deep industry knowledge that was gained through the critical mass of adopters. So to close off, what can you do today to really get ready for this? Once Urkel gets ready, comes into the picture, which will be very soon, what can you do? The first thing, you should really focus on embracing technology and AI. Now, just being here at this conference focused on technology, you're already kind of on the path, you're already mostly there. But really embrace it. AI can be scary. I joked earlier about Skynet. There's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of things that worry people, but I encourage you all to really embrace it fully, because an amazing future state picture is possible. And sort of with that, focus right now on sort of really adopting technology across your entire business. Get every nook and cranny of your business onto the cloud across all aspects. And what that will do is start building that digital tribal knowledge of your business, so that when Urkel comes to life, they can hit the ground running and work for you immediately. Get a deep understanding of your business and start helping you optimize. And then along with that, prioritize, connected platforms where possible. Even if you decide to build yourself, try to connect it to the ecosystems that are out there so that you can really just take advantage of those compounding effects of the learning that's going to come across those businesses. And wherever Urkel arrives first, you can be sort of ready to capture it. And so with that, if you hated this presentation, you can blame ChatGPT. And that's my time.